Hi, Craig Zuckerman here with Lori Clark, and we are zlinefitness. Today I'm going to show you how to relieve pain in your foot and in your heel. This is usually plantar fasciitis or bone spurs in the heel. I'm going to explain what mechanically is going on that causes the pain and injury in the first place. And then I'm going to give you specific exercises in order to relieve that pain and a couple other tricks that'll help make sure that pain goes away. All right, so here's what's going on. You have the arch of the foot, and this arch is because of your bone structure. It could be higher or it could be flat, and depending on that, you can actually have more problems with the arch of your foot. Believe it or not, the higher the arch is, the more the muscular structure must support that arch. So actually, people with higher arches tend to have more problems with arch pain and pain in the foot. So you need the proper musculature to hold and support that high arch. And there are these muscles that run under here that the toes are connected to, that the toes then pull and activate, that expand from here all the way to the heel. And when that arch starts collapsing down because there's not enough strength in the muscles of the arch, then that collapsing can cause tears in the middle or the belly of the muscle. And those tears will start to kind of scar up and calcify, and that then can cause little lumps in the arch. So if you're having this arch pain, you may be able to feel like a knot, looks like a marble, or feels like a marble in the arch of your foot. What it can also do is pull at the attachment back in the heel. And when that muscle pulls on that attachment because it's just too tight, because it's not quite strong enough to handle what you're doing with it, then it'll start to tear at its attachment. And that will calcify and create what's known as bone spurs, little like growths on the bone that connects to where that muscle is. So we're going to show you how to deal with both of those, strengthen this arch so that the arch supports the foot properly and prevents you having pain in the foot and the arch. So the first thing you can do is do some massage work to help break down the scar tissue that's building up in the arch of your foot, especially if you're feeling that marble in the middle of your arch. You want to massage that. Yeah, don't fall over. So it's just a gentle massage directly on the lump that's there. We don't want to like dig into it too much because then we may cause the inflammatory reaction to happen again, and that just causes more scar tissue. So it's a nice gentle rubbing of that little lump in your arch. You can also do it on the heel. Wherever the pain is on the heel, you can do a nice massage into the heel. Now the heel might take a little bit more pressure because you have a little bit more thicker skin back here. So just working into that and massaging them. You want to massage it multiple times a day for the length until the pain goes away. You start to feel that lump kind of dissipate in your arch and in the heel. You can also use a massage device like the thumper devices. You can use that on that area too to help break down that scar tissue that's building up. But that's one of the key factors, is breaking down that tissue through massage to give us a level playing ground in which to strengthen the muscles. On to the next thing you need to do, which is strengthening the muscles themselves. So this foot, what causes this arch to hurt is when you push off your foot, when you jump, when you run, even walking through sand, this muscle has to work. The toes have to work. And if there isn't proper strength here or proper strength and stability in the ankle also, then you have this problem where the arch will just kind of collapse and fall inward. This also can create bunions. So this will help with all of that. So the first exercise also happens to be the most difficult one, but if you can try this out first, see if it works for you, and I'll show you a couple other ones that may help too, a little easier. But what you need to do is strengthen this and the muscles that go up into here. And the best way to do that is to curl the foot in. So she's working these muscles and this at the same time. And then you relax the foot, and then you flex the foot and rotate it to the outside. The reason I'm doing that is because of counter muscle balancing. If we work one side of the musculature of the joint and then the opposite side of the musculature of the joint, then we balance the joint out in a more complete way, which reduces stress and better stabilizes the joint as a whole. So she's going to curl and pull inward, tighten that muscle, and then flex the feet and outward. Notice her knee will not move when she does this. And so it's all in the foot and in the ankle. And you should feel it cramp up in the foot, and then you should feel it cramp up on the outside. And that's working the muscle. You're going to do anywhere between 10 and 15 reps of that. You can do one set of that and then do the other exercise I'm going to show you, a set of each one of those. Or you could just do a couple sets of this, 1 to 3, And you can do it even more than once a day. Just start out easy because you may get some cramps and you may have some soreness the next day. But you can actually do this exercise every day to start relieving that pain by stabilizing your foot in the joint of the arch. And it should start to dissipate. If you add in the musculature, the massage work with the exercise, then within the first 1 to 2 weeks, it should really pull this pain back and you should be doing good. But it is an exercise that you should keep up with every once in a while to just make sure you're keeping the strength and stability in this, especially if you're a runner or you like to hike and walk. So now, if that's a little challenging, there's another exercise you can do, which is just the basic toe curl and flex. So again, we're going to work the arch as she curls the toes underneath, and we're going to also flex and work the front of the shin, the front of the muscle, the top of the foot. Again, you could do anywhere from 10 to 15 reps of these, and you can also do it a couple times a day, and you'd want to do it every day until you start reducing or pulling the pain out of your foot as a whole. And that's it, exactly. See how she activates that and does that. You want to make sure you're not just curling the toes up, that you're actually rolling it under the foot. You want to make sure it pulls through that entire area. Now, the last exercise I'm going to show with this, as far as direct footwork, is just where you pull almost like you're suctioning cupping the foot. So the toes don't curl and it just suction cups the foot and lifts that arch. And let's show a side version of that. Watch this. Watch that arch lift. Yeah. So when that arch lifts up like that, that means we are working this properly. This is what we want, that nice lift. And this also can be another 10 to 15 reps of each of these. Now, if you're going to do all three of these collectively, then you'll reduce the number of reps, like do 7, 7, and 7. But that first one's really the main one, and you could just use that one all by itself. These are ones to try out if you're having difficulty with one of the other exercises. Now, in addition to strengthening the foot, it's a great idea to strengthen the calves and strengthen the ankle too. In order to do that, we have a couple of different exercises. The first one is ankle circles. So you're going to have your foot out and you do rotation working the ankle. So now you're strengthening the entire ankle, and you're going to do anywhere from 8 to 10 circles one way and then reverse and do 8 to 10 circles the other direction. And you got to make sure you get that whole inside and outside. And when you go down, you can point the toes, and when you come up, you can flex the toes. So we also get some of that arch work into it too. You also want to strengthen your calf muscles. To do that, you want to use heel lifts. So she's going to lift the heels up and down. Now the feet stay on the floor. Don't pull the toes up. The heels are the only thing we're lifting. Keep those toe down. Toe down. You also want to keep the toes down. You want to pull up and lift right over the center of the foot. You don't want to roll out onto your pinky toe. Show that. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Okay? That's wrong. That's going to mess with the ankle. We want to roll right over the top of the feet. So it may be good to have like a mirror in front of you. That'll help out. Up and down, directly front. The next exercise is turned in. So now your toes are turned in and you're lifting the heels up. Exactly. Same thing. Don't roll out on the pinky toes. You want to really keep the weight directly over the center of the foot. And then the last set is heels together, turned out, lifting up. So this gets all the different parts of the calf and different ways to strengthen the arch. Whoop, and don't roll out onto that pinky toe. Keep it over the center line. It's also good to feel the glutes engaged here, your stomach lifted up, you're not all wiggle out. Hey, if you have some balance problems, go ahead. Hold on to a pole or something like, or your husband's head. Yeah, that works too. And make sure that you're having some balance, because I don't want to throw a bunch of other things off just because we're working on this. Lastly, counter muscle balancing. You go back to parallel and you flex the feet back to work the shin muscles. Flex the toes back, flex the shins, and work that. You always want to counter muscle balance. And good. So there you have it. The most important things are, the first thing is massaging. Then you got to work the actual arch itself through all the different types of toe curl exercises. And lastly, you want to work the ankles and the calves through ankle circles and the calf work. But I also have one more trick under my sleeve, and that is kinesio tape. And kinesio tape is a huge helper when you're dealing with plantar fasciitis and you're dealing with these bone spurs. So I'm going to show you how to tape your foot to help that healing process go much quicker and support the foot in a way that will really help that pain pull out almost immediately. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to kinesio tape. Kinesio tape's awesome. So it's a flexible, stretchy tape. And what it does is it does a couple of different things. Depending on how you use it, you can actually make it as a support system so it can hold, which is what we're going to use it for, is to like hold up the arch, give the body support while we're trying to heal. The next thing it can do, it can also relax muscles. Depending on how you tape it, it can get rid of edema or swelling. So it's really a great tool to be used. And you really can't mess it up too bad. But the tape is good. You can wear it for anywhere from 3 to 5 days, even up to 7 days. When you go to peel it off slowly. Do not try and rip it like a Band-Aid, or it's going to take your skin with it. And it sticks even if you're in the shower or anything like that. The only thing you got to watch out for is like putting on your socks, because it could roll the tape up. But here's how you do it. We're going to take, so mine has blocks. I really like the blocks so you can tell exactly where to cut. And I'm going to use about a 3 cube cut. The reason for that, I need this to span her whole foot, just like that. And depending on how big your foot is, get some of that off there. Depending on how big your foot is, you may need to have this either bigger or smaller, because we're going to pull some tension on this. And in fact, after looking at her foot, I'm going to cut 2 little blocks off, because I want it actually shorter, because I'm going to be stretching it, and that's why. All right, once you do that, you got to round off the corners. Why do you have to round off the corners? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because it keeps things like socks and stuff from catching the corner and being able to pull it off easier. So it just helps it stick down better. Next, the last little, inch, you're going to tear. So this stretches, so it's really easy to just pull it apart and tear it. And I'm going to take that off. Now, the ends you never want to stretch. In fact, let's go here. So I put it at the heel, just like that, and I'm going to make sure it sticks. I'm going to rub it. Then I'm going to take it off of there and come to the very end, that last inch, and hold, so that I can hold this and stretch it, because I want to give this a nice stretch, 80, 90% stretch, and I come all the way through, even up to 100, all the way. So I'm rubbing it down, making sure as it stretches, I rub it to warm it up and stick it. Then that last inch, take it off, and I don't use it. I don't stretch it. The reason you don't want to stretch the ends is because then it will kind of pull off, and that's what we need it to really stick down, and it holds the ends on better. And the ends are where you tend to come off the foot or the skin. So there you go. See? Nice, right along that arch. Stretched again, 80, 90. Even if you did 100% in that middle part, you're going to be good. But keep it more in the 80, 90 range of stretching. And we're awesome. Now, one more thing to do. This is going to wrap around. So let me show you. It's going to wrap from here. It's going to come under the arch and then go up the leg a little bit. So this is, again, to help lift the arch. So that's what I did. I measured it. I took her foot, and I went just to down here, because I know I'm going to stretch it. Put my foot there, and, finger there, and we got about 5 cubes. So I'm going to cut 5 cubes up. Good. What am I going to do? I'm going to cut around the end. Around the end. Around the end. And around the end. Why is it so hot in California? It's usually nice and cool. I'm hot. All right. So we're going to pull the ends off once again. And then I take that bit off. I put it on the outside of her foot. And I rub it. Get it to stick down. No, you don't have to do that. All right, once I get to stick, I come through. I push the back of it. Let me bend here. Let me break her leg off so you can see. Thank you. I'm going to push so that it just comes off so I don't touch the tape. I come all the way to the end again, and I hold. All right. So first things first, not any pull. I barely pull. I want this just to stick. So I come under. Now, once I'm underneath and I push there, now I'm going to pull. Again, that 80% to 90% pull to lift that arch. So I've come all the way under the foot, all the way around, and good. Now I'll come here, and I'll come across. So now here's the problem. You can kind of, it'll get little folds. You got to just really rub it down here. I've already done all that pull. Now I don't have to pull so much. So I can just kind of let it relax on and come across and do a really bad job of that. No. So there we go. Comes across there, holds. Now you can also come laterally and right up the side of the muscle too, but I really want this right in the middle of the arch so it lifts the arch. And then I take it and I just warm it up, make sure it sticks really well. And there you go. So she has a really nice tape that'll hold that arch up very nicely, and that's going to really support her. I've had a guy who had deadly, plantar fasciitis, and he had to run the LA Marathon. And he had 2 weeks. 2 weeks. He was limping when he came into my studio because it hurt so bad. We did those exercises. He did those exercises every day, a couple times a day. And then we taped him up right before the race and even at the beginning while he was working out. And he ran the race, no problem, no pain whatsoever. So you add that in and you're golden. So there's those 3 tips. Once again, massaging it, exercising it, and then throwing the tape to really seal the deal and help you get out of pain. So I'm Craig Zuckerman and Lori Clark's Feet, and we are Z-Line Fitness.